guys, welcome back to my channel. It is 7 a.m. I'm really not sure how I have any energy at all. I think I'm just faking the funk at this point. But yeah, you're gonna get ready with me today, and we're gonna finish up this amazing Q&A session. Today is gonna be our med school topics. And I'm gonna answer all the amazing questions y'all had about medical school, my journey in medicine. So yeah, let's get into it. Yeah, let's do that before I fall back asleep. That's a joke. I'm not going back to sleep, but still, I wish I could. One thing about me, I'm going to sleep. Like, I'm going to sleep. So let's go ahead and get it popping. All right. So this first question from my favorite troll ever says, how vital is it having your ex-best friend while going through medical school? So first of all, like the first disclaimer for this channel is my best friend is actually my ex-best friend. Like, because we're both so annoying, we can't really express how we truly feel. Like, you will hardly ever hear Haley and I express how we really feel to one another. Like, we're just so aggravating to one another in that sense. So yeah, whenever I'm talking about my ex-best friend, I'm talking about Haley, and it's no shade. That's just her title. And that's my title for her as well, and you know, we get that. So just know that it's all love. I don't know about love, but it's all positive vibes. Anywho, so I would say that my ex-best friend has been a huge source of support and strength for me over these last few years. Like, med school is tough, and it's no matter how much you don't want to change as a result of being in med school, you're going to go through some changes, and your personality is going to take a bit of a hit. Sometimes for the better, sometimes for the worse, you know? And so having my ex-best friend present and understanding that I'm not like being shady when I don't text for 3 days, I just am hanging on by a strand and getting ready for my first exam, you know, that was really helpful. And so she understands that I can't always travel to see her. She understands also that I'm still celebrating all of her wins, whether or not it's from near or far. She's been a couple trips over here to see me, just always serving as a reminder of like who I am at my core, and reminding me that I have someone in my corner. And y'all, like, med school wouldn't be what it is without having her in my corner. And so I think it's vital to have a support network, but more than that, like, it's more than just having mentors and having, you know, family members who support you. Having friends who like know the real you and can always keep you grounded, I think that's probably just as important as, you know, having a supportive family or having a network of mentors and things of that nature, because you need something to keep you grounded. And like, for me, I know my girls got me, and I know Haley especially has my back. And so it's just always great to have people to keep you well-rounded, you know, to feed every part of your soul. So like with my ex-best friend, I can call her and talk about medical related things if I want to, but I can also talk about my love life. I can also talk about, you know, things that aren't medicine related. We can talk trash about our favorite football teams. And we met at LSU, so of course we always vibe on LSU news. So yeah, I would say having my ex-best friend in my life has been extremely important. And if I don't stop talking so much, this video is going to be like an hour long. So let me shut up. Piggybacking off of that question is, how big is it having a support system in med school? How can it help and how can it hurt? I'm a huge proponent of needing a support system in med school, like just needing people in your life, but it's needing having the right people in your life, because, you know, I've had some people who've not been super understanding of my schedule as a med student. You know, I've had family members who haven't always been able to understand that I can't come back home, you know, for this event or that event. I've had friends who criticize my lack of availability for major life events. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that you have to sacrifice every life event, because I definitely haven't done that. Like, I've been there for weddings and for birthdays and things of that nature when I don't have a big exam, but I also never sacrifice my grades and my education for those events, simply because med school you only get one shot at med school. So you have to focus. Like, there's a certain level of dedication that you have to put towards your studies, but always remembering that it's only temporary, right? Med school is only 4 years. After that, you get a little bit more freedom. And I'm also not encouraging anyone to like neglect all of their friends for 4 years straight. Like, you have time. There is time to maintain your sanity, to travel, to see your friends, whether it's, you know, shorter trips or what have you. There is time. You just have to make use of that time. And you have to have friends who understand. So, like, if you have friends who aren't super understanding, you're going to find yourself spreading yourself way too thin. They're going to expect for you to be the same person you were before you started med school, while you're undergoing the stress of medical school. So it's unfair, for example, for me to think that my friend, as a first year medical student who's adjusting to the volume that med school has, will still have time to FaceTime with me for 3+ hours every evening, you know, on top of sleep and take care of their physical well-being and staying on top of their studies, of course, you know. Like, that's just an unfair expectation for a friend to have of you. And so if you find that you are having a hard time balancing your friends with med school or even undergrad, I would consider having that talk with them. Like, hey, these are my responsibilities, and it's not that I love you any less. It's just that for this time being, you know, for right now, I've got to focus on what I've got going on. And if they love you, they'll stay in your corner. But if their intentions were never for you to be your best version of yourself, but more so self-serving, if they're more interested in what you could do for them versus how they could help you, then, you know, you won't see as much of them anymore. But that's okay. That's okay, because everyone's not for you, and that's all right. So yeah, it's not just about having support. It's not just about having people in your corner. It's about having the right people in your corner who understand what it is that you're going through. And that's when it comes down to relationships, family members, friendships. And real quick, I do want to shout out all of my friends who have stuck by my side through this journey. Y'all the real ones. And like, let's not forget about the network of support you're gonna have with your study group or with your classmates while you go through med school. Like, iron sharpens iron, let's just be honest. So you're gonna have a whole slew of med school friends who just help push you and propel you forward. The next question is, how important is time management and what is your schedule like? Time management is critical. Like, you have to be super intentional with your time on this journey. For me, my schedule, I try not to vary from it too much from day to day. So like right now, I am studying for boards. And so my schedule is mostly, I wake up around the same time every day, 5:30, no later than 6. And I get a morning workout in of some sort. If I'm like super sore, it'll be yoga, but I have to do something physical to just get my blood flowing, get my day going. Have breakfast, shower, get ready, and then like right now I'm studying for boards. I try to start studying no later than 8:30 a.m. just so that my day can feel like some structure, because when I was in school, all of our lectures started at 8 a.m. And so at 12, I take my lunch break currently, just like how it was on campus, because we always had a 12 to 1 lunch break on my campus. And then in the afternoon, I do practice questions, which is the same as me going to the library after lecture and studying the material that I covered. And so I try to keep the same rotation going. I'll take a break for dinner. If I need to do some more review after dinner, then I'll do that. But I literally set a plan for hour by hour. First hour, this is what I'm going to cover. Second hour, this is what I'm going to cover. Third hour, this is what I'm going to cover. And then, I even make plans for my lunch. I try not to leave, I know that sounds excessive, but I try not to leave too much up for chance, because every minute and every day counts. And so although every minute of every day won't be super productive, it will be intentional. So I'm either intentional about getting my schoolwork done, or I'm intentional about taking care of my mental health or my physical health, So every minute of every day is super intentional, including my free time. Like, that's intentional as well. And the time that I spend on YouTube and things of that nature. It's all super intentional. So yeah, and we can talk a lot more about scheduling and stuff of that nature, because I feel like that's a whole video in itself, time management. So yeah. Is stress eating a thing in medical school? Like freshman 15. Whew, yes. Stress eating is so a thing, if you let it be. My issue isn't so much stress eating as much as it is stress not eating. Like, I more so get caught up in being too busy to eat, or like forgetting. There have been so many days where I've just forgotten to eat. Like, Haley will call me and be like, "What'd you eat today?" And I'm just like, well, I had a protein shake for breakfast. And she'd be like, "And what else?" So again, I think that goes back to the importance of having that support network, because it's so easy to forget your own personal needs. And because stress eating is also a thing, that's another reason why a lot of med students are intentional about what they eat in a day, as far as like meal prep and planning out your meals. Not necessarily saying that you have to cook all of your meals at once and like freeze stuff or anything. Like, it doesn't have to be that intense, but like, knowing that you're gonna need snacks throughout the day, packing those snacks instead of going to the vending machine on campus. It's also cheaper, because vending machines are expensive. I don't need that anymore. Vending machines are expensive. And actually I do. Vending machines are expensive, and we don't realize it until, especially like the newer machines that take your debit card, you don't realize how much you spent until you like sit down and really look at your budget, and you're just like, how the hell did I spend $75 at a vending machine, getting granola bars, when I could just get a value pack from Sam's Club for the whole month for like $25, So yes, stress eating is a thing. The one way you can combat it is by planning ahead. So planning your lunches out, trying to pack a lunch rather than buying lunch in the cafeteria. Or if you have to buy lunch in the cafeteria, the salad bar is probably the cheapest option for you. Let's just be honest. Where you can pack it with protein and all of your veggies. You just have to make intentional choices. I think the key word for medicine is just intentional, being as intentional as possible. That was a great question. Would you consider yourself naturally smart, or do you have to study hard? So I actually, growing up, would consider myself naturally smart. Like, I pick up on information and material really quickly, and I apply it really well really quickly. Like, my brain is just able to connect dots really well. Like, it's just a trait that I've been blessed with my entire life. But no matter what field you go into, there's a certain level at which being naturally smart isn't enough anymore. Like, you're gonna have to work hard anyway. It's like that quote goes, hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. And med school, or professional health school at all, is like that level in the healthcare field, where it doesn't matter how smart you are, naturally, you're gonna have to work hard. Even people with photographic memories, they still have to work harder in med school than they had before. I didn't really have a hard time in undergrad, in high school, definitely not in elementary or middle school. I was always a straight A student, and I never really had to put in a full effort, and I kind of took advantage of that, and that made me kind of lazy. So when I got to med school, I had to adapt and adjust really quickly. I had to learn really quickly that just because I'm naturally smart and I pick up on things in lecture doesn't necessarily mean that I know the material. It means that I can probably, make my way around the correct answer on a multiple choice test, but in a time setting like you have in med school, where you have 100+ questions to do in just a couple of hours, don't nobody have time to sit there and try to deduce the correct answer based off of what they think they might have heard 30 lectures ago. It's too much to try to just rely on natural smarts. You have to work hard. And so after lecture every day, I would go to the library and start to review those lectures, because it's just that important to see the material as much as possible. And in order to do that, you have to put your best foot forward every single day. And so yeah, there's that. And that's not to discourage anybody, that's just to encourage you before med school kicks your butt. Like, doesn't matter how smart you are naturally, you're gonna have to work hard. And that's not a bad thing. Everyone's working hard, and you feel like a lot of camaraderie with your classmates because of it. So, how do you de-stress? Well, one way I de-stress is by doing my makeup and getting ready in the morning. So this is actually really calming for me. Investing in myself and investing in my well-being and my appearance, my upkeep, my maintenance. I also de-stress by going to the gym. Like, a physical outlet has always been a winner for me, just because I grew up playing softball. I grew up being very athletic. I was an ROTC in undergrad, and I've just always have had like a physical outlet my whole life. So I couldn't let go of the gym when I got to med school, although I did initially. This year, unfortunately, I fractured my ankle, so I couldn't work out until about a month ago. And so I've had to explore more creative outlets of mine. So one creative outlet that I've always had was my blog, my website. Another one that I picked up this year was painting and drawing, which I've always done. Like, I did a lot when I was a kid, and I kind of just like let go of it. That's another big point. Like, don't let go of who you are along your journey. Like, I think that's probably one of the most important things that I can say. It's like, maintain the things that give you joy. But yeah, that's how I de-stress. I de-stress by doing my makeup. I de-stress by getting dressed, going for a walk. I de-stress by going to the gym, like, especially after a hard day. If somebody like made me really mad, I just go to the gym and just run on the treadmill until I'm like exhausted, and I feel so much better. Like, all the endorphins are just out, and I feel so much more at peace after I've like worked myself to the bone physically. But that's how I de-stress, really and truly. And again, you make time for what's important for you. So if de-stressing is important to you, you will work more efficiently during the day, so that in the evening or early in the morning, you can go to the gym. You can sit down and take your time and do your makeup. You do what's important to you. You make time for what's important to you. And by making time, I don't mean like neglecting your med school responsibilities or neglecting anything else in life. I more so mean you work more efficiently with the time that you set aside for your work, so that you have the sense of free time to do what you want to do. That's how you make time, by working more efficiently, not necessarily by neglecting responsibilities. I think that was a great question. All right, this next one says, what year are you in? So I am a third year student. I'm done with my second year. Unfortunately, I have not yet taken step 1, which is the first step of my board exams or my licensing exam. So I'm an off-cycle third year student. So I am currently basically in my dedicated period right now, where my only job is to study for step 1. And that's what I do day in and day out. And I think it's so important that you maintain a schedule while you study for step 1, because things can go left real quick if not, you know, like you can really lose sight of what it is that you're supposed to be doing and fall under the guise of, oh, I have so much free time to do everything that I want. And it's just like, that's not it, sis. That's not it at all. You have 0 free time, and your job is to do everything that you need to do, not everything that you want to do. So yeah, that's me. I'm a third year, off-cycle third year medical student. This next question says, do you know which specialty you want to do? Y'all, my heart beats for emergency medicine. I worked in the emergency room for about a year. I was a travel scribe, and I did some jobs in Louisiana and Texas and a couple other places, scribing in emergency rooms, helping get new scribe programs off the ground. And it doesn't matter what state I'm in, the ER just has my heart. It's just something about, I'm gonna bronze before I put blush on. What am I doing? It's just something about having to stay on your toes, not knowing what it is that you're gonna see, and having to basically have a knowledge of all organ systems versus, you know, being a pro at just the heart or being a pro at just the kidneys. Like, don't get me wrong, those are tough specialties. Like, all these specialties are just amazing specialties. But for me personally, I needed a little bit of variety. And that's why the emergency room has always just had my heart, because it's just awesome. Like, I love it. And you never know what you're gonna get. Every day is a new day, and every day is different, and it just never gets boring. So yeah, emergency medicine for me, please. Yeah. All right. And I want to say this is one of the last questions. Oh wait, 2 more questions. This one says, how do you make bossing out in med school look so easy? And you know what? I didn't know I did that. So thank you for the compliment, because I'm pretty sure that, I mean, I've been pretty transparent since starting med school, you know, like about my journey here, and my shortcomings. And I'm glad that y'all don't see my losses and my setbacks as anything other than being a boss. I'm glad, because sitting in my shoes, standing in my shoes, walking this journey the way that I've walked it can feel so lonely sometimes. I obviously don't post as much as I used to before med school. I've had times where I literally have gone months without sharing anything at all online. And so I'm glad that y'all think that I'm bossing up, you know. But really and truly, I just learned, especially after my car accident. I had a car accident in which I had sustained a brain injury, and that made it really hard for me to stay in school and led to me taking a leave of absence. And so after that experience, I kind of realized, you know, just the way that some people in charge handled that. I realized that to some people, in their jobs in this field, I am only ever going to be a test score or a grade or a rank, a class rank. I won't be Denisha. And I realized that it was important for me to look out for and take care of me and to make decisions that will work in my best interest. And that's really when I would say I started to boss up, when I started to prioritize myself. And so that I would say if I make it look easy, that's why, because I prioritize myself and I make sure that I keep myself whole. And I don't do the things that I used to do. Like I used to stay up until 2-3 in the morning, get 3 hours of sleep and turn around and do it all over again the next day. I don't do that anymore. I make sure that I get, it's still not a full night's sleep, but like I make sure that I get at least 6 hours every night. I make sure that I eat at least twice a day. I know it should be more, but like I said, sometimes I just get so caught up in doing what I'm doing that I just absolutely forget. And so when I don't have full meals, I'll make sure that I, have a protein shake. And I make sure that I maintain the hobbies that make me me. So yeah, that's how I do it. And this last question says, let me see. I thought I remembered it. I don't. If you weren't in medical school, what would you be doing? And strangely enough, I don't know. And I don't know because I've never seen myself doing anything other than what I'm doing right now. And I don't mean that in like a cocky way at all. Whereas like I always knew this would happen. Like no, like I've always visualized myself here. I didn't necessarily always know that this would happen, but I knew that's what I wanted to happen. And I just have always worked towards this. I never made quote unquote a backup plan. Because for me, when I feel like I have a fallback plan, I find that I sometimes don't work as hard as I could. And that's not intentional. It's not necessarily, it's definitely not intentional. I don't necessarily sabotage my plans just because I have a fallback plan. But I think it's kind of like human nature. Like when we know there's a second route, we don't worry as much about the first route, if that makes sense. So yeah, like for some people, they need a backup plan because they need to know that there's something in case, crap hits the fan. But for me, I just need to like focus in on what it is that I want to do. And so I don't know, if I had to pick something, I'd probably say I would teach maybe. I've always been really good at that. I actually started the Go Teach program at LSU where I was doing my biology coursework, but I was also working to get certified as a teacher in the state of Louisiana. That was short-lived just because it kind of did take away from what I was doing in school. I'm not putting eyeliner on today. Yeah, I am. It did kind of take away, no, I'm not. It did kind of take away from what I was doing in school. Just a touch. And I realized that it wasn't my true passion. Like, yeah, I was good at it, but it wasn't my passion. It didn't really encompass all of the talents that I feel like I embody. And so I personally didn't see a huge point in putting any energy towards things that didn't help me reach my full potential in life. And so when it came down to a career path, I locked in on medicine and decided that this was it for me, and the rest is history. And so, yeah, to be honest, I don't know what I'll be doing. And it's crazy because I've asked that question to so many people, like as icebreakers in the organizations that I've been in and stuff like that. Like I've asked that question so many times to the people, but I've never really like sat down and thought about it for myself. So that was a really good question. And that came from Trey. She's my favorite. Like, we went to high school together. She has her own YouTube channel. I'll throw it in the description box below. She graduated last year, so she's a big doctor now. Doing amazing things. And so, I'll link her YouTube channel. Yeah, she's bomb, y'all. But thank you all so much for the amazing questions. I am going to go throw on an outfit to complete this get ready with me. I went with a real simple makeup look today. I don't wear makeup every day, but when I do, it makes me feel like I did something right in the morning, you know? So yeah, I'm about to go put on an outfit. I'll show y'all what I pick out. I'll probably just insert pictures of what I pick out. No, I'll show y'all. I'll show y'all what I pick out, and then I'm gonna go study. Probably gonna go sit on the patio at Starbucks today and study. Who knows? I sure don't. I'm playing this by ear. All right, I'll be back. All right, you guys, outfit for today, real simple look. I went with a black jumpsuit, camo windbreaker, and my Nikes. Yeah, very simple look for today. And for fragrance, I'm wearing Black Opium by YSL. It's one of my favorites. It's a classic. You can find it at Sephora, Ulta. You can get a little mini, like just a little mini sample for the low, which is what I recommend doing until you're ready to invest in it. But yep, outfit for today. About to close out this video so I can go study. All right, you guys, thanks for getting ready with me this morning and submitting those amazing questions for the Q&A. I hope y'all enjoyed our talk today. I hope I didn't talk y'all's ears off. And so what I'm gonna do now is go study, because your girl gotta be a doctor. And I'll be back on Thursday with something. I don't know, I'll figure out something between now and then. But I'll be back after I set my face, of course. I just realized I didn't do that. Like, y'all really gonna let me close up this video without setting my face? I don't understand. Anywho, so now I'm gonna go study and look flawless all day long. If y'all have any questions, comments, concerns, suggestions, anything, hit me up on Instagram at callherdt. If you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel for more amazing content. Oh, and check out the website, theywantthed.net. So that's all I have. I'll catch y'all on my next video, and thanks for watching, y'all.